One Lakeland man's search for buried treasure turned into a display of faith and creativity.
This morning, we're going to turn trash into treasure. We're going to give this cross behind me an update. Yes, this cross I made 9 years ago. It made national news. It took me a while to put it together, about a year and a half, and now we end up with finders, keepers. So these items that I have just found in the last year or so, you'll see in my studio. We're going to put it together. It's like a gigantic puzzle. And we will begin to assemble these items together. We're going to come out here, we're going to work together, and I'm going to show you the facelift, the update that we're going to give this cross. Again, stay tuned, don't miss From Trash to Treasure. We all have those buckets of scrap metal that we pick up when we metal detect, so I took those, laid them out, and I began to pull out the really cool pieces and hook those together, and I started coming up with some abstract forms. And then I figured, hey, I'm going to make a cross with these items. And I use things like gears, buttons, keys, anything that I can connect together. I taught myself to weld, to solder. I screwed some of these things together, wrapped them around, and then of course the center piece took shape, and I ended up with a cross. And it started looking really cool. So I wanted to add some stained glass to make a pop at night with the spotlight on it. So I did that. And then the crown of thorns, those were made with a bunch of rusty nails that I found. I just wrapped them around the head. That's what you see there. And then of course finders, keepers was completed. It took about a year and a half. I now have it sitting in my backyard and it looks beautiful. So the cross is now 9 years old. It needs an update. Some of the items have fallen off. They just get old, but it gets better looking as time goes on. It's just a beautiful piece of landscape in the backyard. I'll show you now how I'll put some of these items together to make finders, keepers. So let me give you an idea how I get started. This is just a small collection of some of the items that I found metal detecting that I thought would look cool on the cross. And then, oh man, like I just recently found this, and I know that this little round thing will fit over this. That's a good idea. If I love using tools, I've got this right here. I drilled a hole through the end. Put a bolt, I've got the wrench, I've got this, I'm probably going to add a few more things, and this will now be part of the cross. A knife like this is great, it just has so much character to it. So I'm going to show you a little as we go. Keys also just awesome. Folks, this is how I made it. It took me a couple of years collecting these items in the past, and now the cross is 9 years old. So let me show you how I put some of this together. So I mean, the ideas just go through my head when I look at this stuff. So automatically I found this little ornate object. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to put a screw through it to hold it onto the reed. Trying to get this screw on, it's a little tough. First piece I'm putting together. You guys are checking it out, and this will go probably to another piece, and there we go. So this will sit on the cross and connect to another piece. Now I think I'm going to add this broken knife tip right here. This piece I decided to put the knife end on. I got a screw that's going to go through it. Old zipper piece, and hey, I'm going to add it to this pipe, and it's going to hang on the cross. This will hang just like this and look awesome. And let's throw in a couple of these 1970 pull tabs we love to hate. There we go. And just throw in a couple more keys. 1, 2. Okay, so I'll wrap these ends. I'll leave just enough here to wrap, and that will hang off the cross as well. This is kind of cool. I found this buried under a brick road. Not sure where I got this piece, but it fits over this. And I think, where's it at here? I'm gonna add this to hold this piece on. That looks cool. Stand by. It's all gonna look good in the end. There. That looks awesome to me. Kind of looks like a face, 2 eyes, mouth, I don't know. These will be added on the head of the cross, which represents Christ and the thorn. So I just wrap a nail around it like that, and they hang fine. That's it for the crown of thorns. There's some new nails. You can see the update. Got a few right in here, and added some right in here. I've got a knife that I found metal detecting that I added just with a piece of copper wire to hang here. There's a rabies tag hanging off these keys that were already here. And here's the piece that I found a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure what it is, but it looked good. I just glued it right on top of this bolt. If you come over here, you'll notice this is the piece that we just made in the garage. You can see the wrench, just a little ornate piece, a knife, and it just, like I said, it goes together like a puzzle. One piece adds to another. Now, if you look over here, you're going to notice up underneath it, I added the old light socket that I found digging. It was vintage. You can see the porcelain on it, but it fit perfect right there. If you notice this knife right here, it's attached to a piece of copper. It's got a spark plug that was added as well. It's an old rusty knife, a water hose end, a piece of copper pipe, and then a chain that I found. So kind of put it all together, and it's going to hang right here and continue to rust and add to the beauty of this cross. The keys that you just saw me put together, right here they are, attached here and here. A little socket, a little ball bearing item. Oh, we cannot forget this guy. Boy, it still looks like a face to me. What do you think? That fit perfect. It just clipped right on here. The patina is just beautiful on this. A lot of the brass just continues to turn. A little algae from the oak tree. Again, it's just the many different colors that this cross has gone through during the 9 years. And it will continue. And you know what? Pieces will continue to rust and fall off. And I'll continue to add items over the years. I want you to think about this. Every piece on here is a dig. Every single little bolt, nail, screw, key. Look at this. Every pull tab, every one is a time that you are digging and you are up and down on your knees and working hard.
For you on this Sunday. As they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. But in this case, Bay News 9's Polk County reporter Rick Elmhorst shows us how one Lakeland man's search for buried treasure turned into a display of faith and creativity.
Lakeland police officer Gary Gross spends 4 hours every week
about 4 inches down right here,
using his metal detector to look for old jewelry and coins.
There it is right there.
In this case, just a penny. But Gross has some of his best finds on display in his den. Lots of cool coins, many rings, and a collection of crosses. All the searching also turns up lots of junk, like clock gears and an old phone dial.
The salt shaker top was found out at Sun and Fun.
Even some old brass nozzles.
Like, I know this is a collectible. This would probably go for 30 or 40 bucks on eBay.
Gross has turned all that junk into this, an 8-foot metal cross with all his discoveries welded right on it. The only things on the cross not found by his detector, some stained glass.
The red glass represents, obviously, his hands with the spikes.
There's even this crown of thorns, made up of old nails he's dug up over the years.
I mean, yeah, it is a hunk of metal, but it's just something that I had to think about when I put it together.
Many hundreds of hours have been put into the project.
You know, I've got to clean the piece, I've got to get it just right, and then figure out where it goes on this.
And all the meticulous work, worth it, in more ways than one.
As a police officer, it's very stressful. For me, this is a way to relieve stress.
Gross hopes this artwork by a non-artist will inspire others to discover creativity they didn't know they already had.
Some people think, no, I'm not creative. I can't draw or do anything. Well, I couldn't draw a flower, but I can put together something abstract that others may like.
Something this police officer discovered about himself, even if he didn't know he was looking for it. Rick Elmhorst, Bay News 9.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed that very special edition here on Easter of Finders Keepers. Finders Keepers continues to change and look beautiful year after year. It's been 9 years, it got an update. Get back with me in 10 years and check out the next one. And most importantly, thanks for following Double G.